All right, good morning. New week. We are feeling good. The market is also feeling quite good. We're going to be opening most likely just above Friday's highs. We sat sort of in the middle of the range of last week, but we're way off the lows. We're about 250 points, or actually near 300 points off of highs of last Tuesday. So this morning we are looking to see either a break above the overnight range to then be long, or we're looking for the market to reverse down below Friday's high. If we can sustain price below Friday's high, then we'll be looking for shorts either below the high of Friday or below the overnight range, or down below Friday's close. So either way, if we drop down here, we'll be looking for some shorts off of key levels. If we can rally up, then we're looking for longs above the overnight range or the high of the session. See, as simple as that, really. Simple as that. My trading is very settled now in terms of what I'm looking for in my daily process. Very, very settled relative to just a few weeks ago, where it really wasn't. So that's really, really nice. Does mean there's probably a little bit less to talk about because I'm not interested in nearly as much of what's going on. I'm only interested in very specific areas, very specific things. The market's just opening now. So last week was essentially a break-even week. I made a little shy of £200. So nothing that's going to move the needle. But I did learn something almost every day. Friday was a quiet one, but pretty much every other day, I took something away from it, which is great. And the fact that I'm essentially the same distance away from my ultimate goal is great. It's great. So if we can improve based off of that this week, then we're looking good. So the market's pushing up to the top of the overnight range immediately off the open. We'll see if we get an early break and retest. I'm going to change screens in case we get an early setup here. So what we're looking for is a sustained break above the overnight range to then trade along. So the market's moving up strong. So if we do come down and retest and show some real strength, then I'll be looking for a long. Okay, I'm long. I'm long the DAX. Hoping to ride a nice uptrend. I've taken half because I'm at 1 times my risk. Stop loss is going to break even. Showing you a 5-minute chart here. Taking another half. It's all happened so fast this morning. I've not even had my coffee. It's gotten cold. So I'm going to do a 2-minute trading stop loss now. You can't see a 2-minute chart because I don't have it on that platform, but I'll be using a 2-minute chart on TradingView. I've only got 10 contracts left in the position, but because I liked my take profit, but I will Just leave this to run with a 2-minute stop. Okay, and I'm out. And I'm out. £1,033 of profit. Oh shit. Oh, apologies. I thought you were looking at. I thought I had my screen on MetaTrader. Sorry about that. So this was my entry, this little triangle here. And this is my final exit on the top here. Now I do expect the market will go higher, but that I can trade again, essentially. I can enter a new position. To be offered £1,000 in the first 15 minutes of a Monday morning is, well, for the sake of this challenge, it's too good to say no to. But either way, it was a good, I think I followed my rules. That is not there's no rule breaking there. That was exactly as I'd planned. So we saw a break. Actually, I'll change back screens now. So we saw a break of the overnight range on the first candle. Go to a 1-minute chart. Now, I could have entered here. This would have been a really aggressive entry off of this first little retest of the overnight range. I decided to wait for a bit more of a push up. Then we got the retracement down to where this initial breakout was. And then I was just looking for strength, essentially. So once the market closed at the highs, I was then confident that the market would find a way higher, which it did. So that was a good trade to start the week. And it's one of my first winning long positions in a long time. I've been trading vast majority shorts now, just because that's the way the market's been. So what was that risk reward wise? I had a 32-point stop loss, and my average exit was about there. So it's about a 1.1 risk reward, which is great. Great. I want to take a break for a couple of minutes, then come back. Oh, okay. I've just been thinking about how to proceed with this morning. Now my default position now is going to be to not take any more trades today. So unless there's something that's just so perfect, it's like a once a week or once a month type setup, I will not be taking any more trades. And I'm not going to sit around until 10:30 to see if that happens. So the only setup I am interested in this morning is a new break and retest of the current high of day, or a complete collapse to then trade shorts. They're the only two trades I'm making. So I'm going to change my no trade zone now to be all the way up here. So unless we completely collapse or we can do another big rally, I have absolutely no interest in taking any more trades, because I've got on one of my notes is one of my big things to think about this week is trying to basically ask myself after every trade and after every hour, should I really carry on? And it's irrelevant to what the market's doing. It's about me. So Monday morning, just made £1,000, 1.5%. How would I feel now if I took a sort of B or C types trade and then lost most of that money? That would not feel good. So yeah, the default, we're going to log the trade. The default position is going to be to not take any more trades. But I am here for another hour or so if something great does set up. What I am going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can do the 3-screen situation without the stream crashing. I'd like to be able to log my trade properly. We really did get out at the right time, didn't we? We really did get out at the right time. Holy shit. So what we're looking at is my trade tracker. And this is the Bible, essentially. This really is the Bible. This is my 28th trade since just over 3 weeks ago. My plan, well, my goal, I suppose, is to not take any trades outside of this model until I've made at least 100. So once I get to 100 trades using this exact entry system of break and retest, I'm not going to take anything else. If after 100 trades I'm doing really well and I want to look at developing something additional, then I can, but not until I've hit 100. Just for the discipline of taking such a high volume of trades and collecting so much data without being tempted into any other quote unquote opportunities. Right. Contracts. So as you can see, this is my first long position. My first long position since the 22nd of January. Look at that. Short, 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 short. Remarkable. Shows you where all the momentum's been. So even though we're not down that much, if anything, well, we are down a little bit, but not very much in terms of net price. The momentum has been always to the downside. I think it's worth showing you this because this is the important stuff, what I'm doing right now. It's monotonous, but logging all this stuff is the number one reason that I'm getting better at this shit, is because I am doing the boring stuff, and I wasn't doing this. This is the first time, the last few weeks, it's the first time I've ever really properly, consistently logged everything that I can think of. And the good thing is, because I've got recordings and screenshots of all these trades, is that if I do decide that there's some other variable that I want to look at, I can always just go back and add that data in. Which I'm sure there will be. And the reality is this takes far longer to do than the actual trades themselves. Or my laptop is not enjoying having 3 screens and a stream all running at once. Sorry if this is chopping around. Points risk. So I'm trying to collect as much data as possible in terms of ratios, timings. Just then I'll be able to do a good analysis and then figure out exactly what I can do to squeeze out more money, essentially. It's incredible how 1 week differs one to the next. Okay, so, and then that is what we are looking at. Good stuff. So the market's not happy. That initial move, which we really did make the most of, is a distant memory. Now, this is good for me because I'm I like trading short, so I have absolutely no issue with that. So I'm not interested in any sort of long position unless we can break above high of day, because we could now just be settling into a trading range. I think what I would really like to happen is the market to keep falling. But I can't, I'm not sure how likely that really is. Okay, so we have got a bit of a rally off the overnight range high. See if it can actually break through VWAP. Now, sometimes I would look to trade a potential break and retest here of VWAP, but as I mentioned, I'm not sure when, I think Friday. For me to trade off of the moving average, we need to be in a trend. Where currently, as you can see, we're in a trading range. And a trading range is basically when the high, we make a high, but then we come all the way back down to the low, rather than making what would be called a higher low. So if we came down here and then continued higher, then we'd be in a trend because we've got higher highs and lower lows. And that's when trading off the moving average can be good, because the market can follow that moving average higher and higher, or lower and lower if we're moving down. But that isn't valid when we're in a trading range. So in fact, it's possible that this moving average could now act as resistance and fall lower. It's completely unknown what's going to happen now. I've now got 8% left till I'm funded. Started with 17%, so I'm officially over halfway for the first time. Obviously, if I lose, I'll be back under half. but it is a nice milestone to hit that over halfway mark. We're plus 9% with 8% left to go, which is a nice feeling. If the market's still not moving anywhere too quickly at 9 a.m, I will be calling it there. Need to see some sort of move happen, because I don't want to wait another 2 hours. Now, the main reason being is just it's this concept that I've become very aware of mental capital. Trying to protect my own mental capital as much as my own actual physical capital, my money, because it is finite. It really is finite throughout the week. I've sort of trying to break my trading week down into 1 hour sessions. If I trade 3 hours a day, which is my limit, 5 days a week, that's 15 hours a week, which is bugger all, right, in the context of the whole week. But that is still a lot of time spent under extreme levels of focus and at times stress. So my goal, if possible, if the week sets up, is to try and keep it no more than 10 to 12 hours a week. So if I have a day like today where I've made money very early, stop after an hour, I've essentially then saved myself 2 hours of mental energy for later in the week. Because my energy, focus, discipline, it doesn't reset one day to the next, or even necessarily 1 week to the next. So I need to try and protect it as much as physically possible. Okay, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to call it there. This was a nice morning, a quick morning, and a morning that we can build on. I don't really want to wait another hour or whatever for the market just to come down, maybe to offer up a short position. We're definitely not going to get a long position anytime soon. So yeah, I'm going to call it there. So that was a great day. Great day. I'll be back tomorrow and just try and build. Yeah. All right. Thanks very much.